Yo, what's good, my fellow deadheads? Your overlord has returned. Today we got another JJK Phantom Parade video for you. I'm going to be talking about the fact that Curse Sweep Battle is almost here. I'm going to be going over my teams. I'm kind of like finalizing, locking in the characters that I know I want to work on and whatnot. And that's very important for me specifically because the characters that I lock in for my Curse Sweep Battle teams are also going to be like the characters that I work on giving the Curse Sweep Battle materials to first, because that is most efficient. It just makes making that game mode way easier to farm, and that way you can just kind of like be overloaded on that material. Even though you're limited to a certain number of farms in a week, I know that a lot of people probably, if it's too hard, are going to let it sit and not do all of their runs in the week more than likely. Or, you know, they're going to say, yo, I'm just not at that point yet in my account, and they're just going to let it sit. And honestly, rather than that, I'd rather let you guys know like what I'm going to be doing. And obviously my teams are going to be absolutely stacked out, cracked out. You know how the dead man rolls. But besides the point, at the very least, I can give you guys some inspirations for teams, or you can look at some of my characters and be like, oh, okay, maybe these characters work similarly to these characters, right? So, something like that. But if you guys do like videos like this, you can go down below, you can hit the like button, you can also subscribe, you can also hit the notification bell, and you can comment down below and let me know what you think about the videos. But we're going to go ahead and get right to it. Now, it was a little bit of a tease having the game open at the start of the video, because first we have to talk on the wiki about when this came into play for the JP version of the game. So guys, the actual JP anniversary started on November 21st. That's when UG dropped officially, and I consider the start of the anniversary whenever the first anniversary character like officially drops. Just because the start of the anniversary is a little unclear on the global version, because they said pre-anniversary, first wave, whatever, but like none of that stuff was actually any anniversary stuff, except for, you know, the free stamina and the free story AP, the free stamina, you know, things like that. Those things were actual anniversary events. But for actual content or banners that came out, none of the anniversary stuff started on the global version until May 2nd. So nothing actually started on the Japanese version until November 21st for their first anniversary, right? And you can see here all the way on January 21st, so an entire 2 months later is when they finally got Curse Sweeping Battle. It came out after, like, they kind of were setting up for it in the first anniversary. They were like, yo, this is going to be the next big thing after the first anniversary. But realistically, it should have been in the anniversary if you ask me, because by this point in time, all of the anniversary stuff is over. The last anniversary thing would have been Sukuna's banner and his little event, and this ended on 1/5. So literally all the anniversary stuff, or I'm sorry, this ended on 1/20. So this literally ended the day that Curse Sweep Battle came. So honestly, yeah, Curse Sweep Battle I feel like should basically be on anniversary, right? Because the event of Sukuna left, but the banner was still there. And if Curse Sweeping Battle came right on the tail end of that, then I'd say that it was still an anniversary type of thing. I'd say that was the last thing they did from the anniversary before they really kicked off the next year. So my whole argument in this video is the fact that Curse Sweeping Battles could be coming to us way faster than we expect. I am not going to pull up the global and JP timeline side by side because it causes a lot of clutter on the screen, but I will go ahead and tell you that I've done my research and looked over some things that happen in the JP and global anniversaries differently. So pretty much it seems like anything that would have helped you farm out your characters a little bit easier was introduced into the anniversary a little bit earlier. So I just have a list of a few random things. Not all of them are things that help you grind out your account easier. Some of them are just going to be like events and things of that nature, right? But just hear me out, see if you can find a pattern here. So the free banner that allows you to do 10 free multi-summons into the anniversary, that banner came out 4 days before the anniversary started in the Japanese version. So that means that UG dropped on the 21st, that came out on the 17th, which would be 4 days beforehand. Now on the global version, that banner actually dropped a week in advance. UG came out on the 2nd of May, but the banner came out on the 25th of April. So we had 3 more days earlier of time to build up on that banner, which means that 3 days into the anniversary, we had all 10 free multis already, versus on the JP version, they had to wait 6 days into their anniversary to get all of the multis, which doesn't sound like that big of a deal, but hey bro, every little bit counts, and when it goes day by day in a gacha game, that shit feels like forever. The story story had free AP, or the story had no AP cost or no AP requirement the day of the anniversary starting on the Japanese version, whereas the global version, we got it a week in advance. Again, 3 AP refills daily for free on the Japanese version. Started the day of Yuji's banner coming, but on the global version, we got it a week early. And not to mention, since it came so much earlier for us, it actually lasted a lot longer as well in our anniversary. On the JP version, all of these little extra campaigns lasted about 2 weeks. On the global version, these things lasted for nearly a month, or maybe like 3 weeks or something of that nature. Then we got tower floors 50 through 60 on the global version. This was really crazy. 7 days in advance, before the anniversary even started, on the 25th of April, when the pre-wave first anniversary, whatever, started, right? The Japanese version of the game did not get access to that until 4 days after Yuji released, which is not that bad, honestly. Tower floors releasing during the anniversary in general is a good thing, and I won't say it's a good or a bad thing for them to release before or after certain banners, because with the tower, if you're strong enough already, that can be extra leverage for you to get more cubes and work towards another summon. If you are not able to beat the tower already, then you know the anniversary character comes and maybe they can make tower a little easier for you to beat, and you can work on your anniversary character before those new floors come out. So both of them have their checks and balances, I guess I could say. The enhancement stages, which this one is really, really crazy. So basically they added level 7 to all of the enhancement stages. The experience stage, I knew it was gonna do that. The experience stage, the recollection bit stage, and the JP farming stage. All of those did not get updated and added, or did not get an extra stage until 15 days into the anniversary. So before Sukuna came, but not quite before Gojo or Yuji came, which kind of sucked because you already did all the farming that you needed to do for those two as soon as you got them or beforehand, and it really just helps out a lot more when you're able to farm things at a higher level beforehand, all these anniversary characters coming. And I'm just pointing out all of these inconsistencies within the two anniversaries just to show you, like, when it comes to the global version, they're a little shameless. They don't really care. They will push stuff up extremely early, even if they know that JP players can see it and say, hey, why didn't we get that? They do not care. They are just looking to push the global version up towards the Japanese version as fast as possible. And guys, I have to make another video talking about this, but I will go ahead and say, they said in the Discord, whenever the first anniversary, I believe, started for JP, or we got a roadmap for going towards the half anniversary or golden week or something like that, 1.5 anniversary on the JP version. They had a few Q&A questions, and one of the questions that was asked was, are you planning on syncing the games? And the developers did say yes, they plan on syncing the games, but they said that the games will not be fully synced until after the second anniversary in JP or after the first anniversary in global. So at first, I was of the mindset that maybe we get the 1.5 anniversary for our first global anniversary, and then they push to, alleviate the gap during that next year, and then by the third anniversary, we're just synced up all together. But in all reality, we could actually share an anniversary on first and second anniversary for the global and JP versions, because synced does not mean that things are releasing at the same time. Synced means that things are releasing consistently on the same schedule and all of the content in the game matches each other now. So it can't really be a synced version if all the stuff is not there just yet. So maybe they push global up to make us match JP's anniversary, because that's the only way I see this going, if they introduce the 1.5 anniversary into the global version as fast as I'm thinking. But if they do that, then it could be them syncing up the anniversary and then just like dropping stuff, really bum rushing global for a little bit longer and just getting all of the same contents in both versions, and then eventually we just see that update one day from both versions of the game that drops at the same time and has the same information in it. But we do not know just yet. I have two more different things on the timeline that dropped like way later into the JP version's anniversary versus the global version's anniversary. Mahito in both versions actually took 2 weeks just about to come into both versions, so that one thing is consistent. But from all the things that I have said, we have the free banner, the story free, the AP refill. All 3 of those things are things that just, and the enhancement stages, I'm sorry. All 4 of those things are things that just help you to advance your account a lot faster. And all 4 of those things dropped a week in advance, as opposed to how late or day of or whatever they dropped in the JP version. Then literally content, I was gonna make the argument, okay, maybe they won't push Curse Sweep Battle up just because content doesn't get pushed up, but incorrect. The tower stages literally came a week in advance on the global version, where they came 4 days into the anniversary on the JP version. So they have already shown that they do not care. They will push and move content around. And the last thing that I have here in my list is the fact that the entire JJK 0 part of the anniversary took 3 weeks to start in the Japanese version. It only took 2 weeks to start on the global version. So they are just steamrolling all of the events and just rolling them out as fast as they possibly can during this global anniversary, or 0.5 anniversary. There we go. So I think that we could see Curse Sweep Battle whenever Sukuna drops. That was the whole point of this. Maybe not even when Sukuna drops, maybe like a month or not a month, maybe like a week or 2 afterwards or something like that. Like, what if we get the notice for Sukuna dropping, and if it doesn't say Curse Sweep Battle, then, you know, we could get another update, like the next bi-weekly update or something like that says, oh, okay guys, we're about to get Curse Sweeping Battle into the game like now and not wait, because you already know it's coming, so we might as well just go ahead and throw it in there. That's kind of how it feels right now. They know that we know all this stuff is coming, so they do not care about the speed at which they are throwing it in there, so they would just throw it in there as shamelessly as possible. So guys, I strongly have a feeling that Curse Sweep Battle will not take 2 months after the anniversary's initiation point. So not 2 months after May 2nd. And what am I trying to say by that? Not July 2nd. I don't think that Curse Sweep Battle will take all the way up until July 2nd. I believe we can see it halfway through like June or something like that. Or maybe even earlier. Or like I said, bro, if it dropped with Sukuna, I'm not going to be complaining. I'm not going to be upset for real. But let's go ahead and look over my teams and talk about what my strategies are going to be for Curse Sweep Battle, and making sure that I progress it in the easiest way possible. So guys, here we are looking over my teams. You can see that my yellow team here for Curse Sweep Battle is looking kind of stacked. We have obviously just a god tier lineup. We got Yaga here for his debuffing and his passive buffing that he is constantly giving the team, along with Unity from top to bottom, to make sure that we can boost everybody's ultimate gauge to a certain degree. Unfortunately, I do not have him 2 dupes just yet, so he is missing out on an extra 10 curse energy that he could have at the start of the mission, but it is okay. I think that it'll be perfectly fine. It'll work out perfectly fine. Another character that I considered maybe using up here was like Rare Kaito, just for the constant curse energy refill, but I'm gonna try it out with this first and just see how this team does without somebody constantly refilling their cursed energy. We have Incomplete Domain Megumi for obvious reasons. His domain is one of the most busted domains in the game, one of the most busted supports in the game. Like, honestly, him and Gojo here for the same reasons. And Gojo, even though he is a red character, he has attack nullification, and he's just an inherently strong character with a lot of health. When I go into missions, bro, this Gojo's HP is nearly 60k. So once we get the SP buff updates, that's going to be really nice, because he'll be over 60k, and that'll be ridiculous to look at. I have finally gotten all of his skills to level 10, of course. Oh, and Yaga's skills, the 2 that are most important are his ultimate and his skill 3. Those are both level 10, and then these 2 are both level 8. I kind of have like a list of things that I need to do to these teams, and like it's like an optional thing for me to get Yaga's skills 1 and 2 up to level 10, even though it doesn't really matter too much. All of these guys are like fully grade 15, by the way. You can see Megumi's skill 1 here is level 9, but his domain is level 10, and these 2 are level 8 right here. So typically I try to level 10 the 2 most important skills, and then like everything else I try to get at least level 8 either way. But yes, again, full grade 15 there. Then Gojo, you already know, full grade 15, all level 10 skills, A5, you know, Phantom Seal, all that good shit. Then we even got his page 5-star as well, which I use 2 general page dupes on this. I will be honest, I will be transparent. Then we got Zone Yuji here, actually all level 10 skills as well. We have a level 140 already, which is very nice. Full grade 10, as you know. And we also have A2, which means that he starts off with an extra 10 curse energy, which means that whenever he does get into that state where he goes into zone and he is using 2 skills back to back at a time, that little bit of extra curse energy is going to help us out a little later on down the road. And I'm actually using Play of the Strong, because once he uses zone and he can do multiple hits, I actually tested it with chat one day on stream. When he does this and he gets the extra physical technique to himself for two turns, right? In those 2 turns, Yuji is gonna do 4 attacks, and those 4 attacks are gonna hit extremely freaking hard. Like I said, tested it out, super fun, super cool. And guys, I will be doing like showcases for these characters, not as soon as Curse Sweep Battle drops, but I will roll out showcases as I get more characters, SP buffs or SP systems fully realized, fully awakened. But now that we are talking about showcases, or let's not forget our boy Nanami in the back here, I do believe that a backline character does definitely matter, and my choice is going to be Yellow Nanami. I had, who else? I had Nobara. I don't have Mekamaru, but honestly, I think Mekamaru's damage will probably be pitiful. We have Nobara. Junpei is not really good here because you got to kill the boss in 17 turns, and Junpei is more of a defensive type of unit. But then, yes, no more yellow options really that I'm looking at. We have Inumaki, which, come on, be real, I'm not doing that. With the options that I have, I'm not doing that. Then I also have Hidden Inventory Gojo. If I might make some videos kind of like going over teams that you can use if you don't have Domain Expansion Gojo. So Hidden Inventory Gojo might see some play in Curse Sweep Battle eventually when I feel like getting to that video. But at the very moment, this is looking like my staple team right now for that Cursed Spirit Sweep battle, right? And if I remember correctly, in the Cursed Spirit Sweep school video, they said that your supports just needed to be like grade 13 and your DPSs need to be grade like 14. So I got everybody grade 15 and all max level. We're gonna see how well they survive. I think I'm gonna be I think I'm gonna be sufficiently surprised by how well this team performs. But another optional thing that I could do is get Nanami skills all level 10 as well. And we also have Anyway Let's Have a Cola, which this page is meant for him. Yes, this page is meant for him. So this is my yellow team. I have no doubts in my mind, hands down, this is probably my strongest team for this game mode as of right now, even though I have not gotten to test them out just yet. The only ways that I can really make this team stronger is literally duplicates and then just getting the skills of Yaga, Megumi, and Nanami up. But again, they're all at the lowest, level 8 already. But I'm going to start off with my yellow team and consistently farm the red boss over and over and over again. Even if there are missions where, you know, oh, beat this stage and get this many cubes, the missions will always be there, and when they reset, you know what I'm saying? So either I'm gonna spend all of my runs for the week going into, you know, one colored stage just to see how many you get. Obviously the point is to beat it at level 10 or get all 10 stars every time you do it. I'm gonna see how many 10-star runs it takes to fully max out one character. Hopefully I'm pleasantly surprised and all the runs that you get in a week are enough to fill out one character and maybe and then some, right? I don't even know. But I was actually playing the JP version a little bit earlier too, just kind of curious as to, you know, should I start playing this and actually getting into Curse Sweep Battle? But Curse Sweep Battle will be here on the global version soon enough, so I don't want to waste my time doing something that's a little too extra. But the yellow team is going to be going against the enemy that drops the materials for red characters, which is actually highly convenient because Domain Expansion Gojo is going to be a character on every single one of these teams. So let's go ahead and move over to the red team next. Since the yellow team is going to be the first team that I'm farming materials with, I'm going to use that to my advantage, and I'm going to first farm the materials for Red Gojo because Red Gojo is literally on the yellow team. So as I'm farming with the yellow team and making Gojo stronger, I'm going to make the farm for the yellow team just that much easier because the little bits of damage Gojo's putting in is going to be a little bit better. And also Gojo's domain is always just going to be ridiculous, right? But then right after we get Gojo boosted up on the SP, right after we will go for Yuta because Yuta is the main DPS, and then we would go for Yuji right after because Yuji is the backup DPS. And I think that what makes a bigger difference, especially with the SP buffs, and, you know, actually just getting more stats, is always going to be the DPSs first and foremost, because if you can kill the enemy faster, then a lot of your units live a little bit longer. And also these guys right here, when I see a lot of different runs with support units, units. The support units typically are not built all the way up like I like to do. So I think that these guys are going to stand to tank a little bit better than I expect. And, you know, they're like little nice things like Nanami Loki does a little more damage than I expect with his ultimate every now and then. And honestly, I probably should just get his ultimate to level 10 at this point, just because it does do a little more damage than I expect it to a lot of the time. And it is going to be used because it boosts everybody's damage dealt. And the same thing with Yaga. It is a debuff ultimate as well, so we should go ahead and get that level 10 as well. But the buff and the ultimates on these two are the only things that I really should be looking towards at this point. But yes, we're going to boost all three of these guys here first because we want to get all of our DPSs up first. But the team, the Curse Sweep battle enemy that the red team fights, that they get the materials for, is going to be the blue units. The way that is easy to remember for me is that it's kind of like the reverse of Dokkan, the color wheel, right? Because in this, red is strong against blue, blue is strong against green, green is strong against yellow, yellow is strong against red, when it would typically be like in reverse. But blue right here is going to be what the red team gets us, the mats for these guys. So then obviously we're going to go for Sukuna and then Jogo first. Or maybe Sukuna and Gato first. Maybe these two first. I feel like Sukuna will be so strong, especially Gato, like by his side, that the end Momo buffing, I feel like Jogo probably won't come out too often. But you can kind of see what the rhyme or reason here is, guys. You can see that I'm just working on, obviously, Gojo first, because it's on every team. That's most priority. Then I'm working on the two main damage dealers from both teams, or from all the teams. And then after that, you know, we come back around. So, boom, Sukuna and then Gato are going to get their buffs first on this team, and then on this team is going to be Megumi, and then again it may be Gato instead. Even though he's a debuffer, he does do pretty solid damage. I feel it could be Gato or Megumi, Gato or Megumi, and then Yuji, because I know that Yuji is going to be one of the first wave of characters to get actual SP buffs, like fully, though 32 out of 32 tree, where his skill gets buffed up, his passive gets buffed up, all that stuff. So we could do Yuji first just because he becomes a very, very good character from that point on. And then this team would be the team that I use to farm yellow materials. And then as I farm the yellow materials, I wouldn't even just farm the DPSs. I would farm Yuji, Megumi, then Yaga, then Nanami, and literally just do the whole team, because at that point we've hit our full cycle of colors to where we're back to this team. Then when I go back to using this team, it's going to be even easier to farm, and then we just cycle back through again on the red team, and we get, you know, Yaga and Nanami SP buffed up. And that sounds insane, I know, to give SP buffs to SR and rare characters, but I'm be real with you, bro. If you use the character, you use the character. And if you have a chance to make the character stronger and make them last longer in fights, then I'm gonna take that chance. I don't know if y'all are trying to win or not, but I am. But yeah, that's kind of how I'm looking for Curse Sweep Battle. Let me know down below, guys, like what your teams are looking like. Let me know if you do want me to go ahead and start talking about maybe some team ideas without domain expansion Gojo in the team, just because some people probably missed them. Or if you need team ideas without Yuji in the mix, or any anniversary character that you're missing, right? If you need team ideas without those characters in the mix, then let me know and I'll go back. I'll talk with my JP content creator friends who do an excellent job of breaking things down for us global players. And I'll come back to you with the most up-to-date, most logical information that I have. But guys, be ready for Curse Sweep Battle. It could be here way sooner than we think. And that's going to be it for your boy, DEADMANVINCE. Peace out. Love you guys.